Under the ocean floor of the North Sea lie some of the most significant offshore energy resources in the entire world. The oil and gas harvested would become a crucial part of the United Kingdom's economy, producing around 2.5 million barrels of oil per day during the 1980s, acting as a vital source of energy for the country. But on one July night, what started as a routine work shift would become the scene of one of the deadliest disasters in the history of offshore drilling. How does a series of avoidable failures result in the loss of 167 workers? The 6th of July 1988, the North Sea, the Piper oil field. Routine maintenance work is being conducted on a key part of the Piper Alpha oil rig's gas compression system. Permit to work forms for the day shift have been issued and signed to perform maintenance on one of the two pumps located in the gas compression module. While the safety valve for the pump is removed, it is capped off with a blanking flange, forming a temporary seal. The shift finishes their workday before the maintenance is completed, and it is left for the next shift to continue. The oil rig itself, called Piper Alpha, operated by Occidental Petroleum Caledonia Limited, first began operations in 1976 and was, at its peak, producing over 300,000 barrels of crude oil per day. It was initially an oil-only platform, but due to the presence of petroleum gas which would normally be burnt off, another module was added to instead process this additional resource too. The main rig consists of 4 main modules, A, B, C and D, separated by firewalls. Above these main modules are a drilling derrick, living quarters, 2 cranes, a helideck, other utilities, and is connected to other platforms via a pipeline. During its original construction, it was built in such a way as to have personnel areas located as far away as possible from the most dangerous operations for safety. However, when the gas module was later added, this design philosophy was broken and the new module was located next to the control room. On the evening of the 6th of July, the only operational pump fails, but without knowing, the pump undergoing maintenance with the safety valve removed is restarted, causing gas to escape from the pipe where the missing valve would normally be. The gas ignites instantly, triggering a massive explosion. As the fire spreads, safety systems fail, including the platform's deluge system, which had been switched to manual operation for maintenance. With no way to control the fire, the flames rapidly engulf the rig. To make matters worse, neighbouring platforms continue to pump oil into Piper Alpha, feeding the inferno. Any workers not killed in the initial blast and resulting fire have little choice but to jump into the cold, rough ocean below. Depending on where they were located, the fall could have been from as high as 50 metres. After sustaining catastrophic damage from the explosions and intense heat of the sustained jet fire, the critical supports give way and the rig collapses into the sea, with only Module A still standing. Overall, 167 men have been lost and only 61 survive. Around 670 tons of oil is spilled in the accident. On the 9th of July, an oil slick 2.2 miles long and 100 metres wide is reported. Force 4 conditions, together with an oil dispersant, are sprayed from a supply vessel, helping to disperse it, minimising pollution. The investigation into the Piper Alpha disaster begins immediately. Survivors are interviewed to gather first-hand accounts. Investigators also analyse the burnt-out wreckage for clues about the cause of the explosion. In November 1988, the UK government appoints Lord Cullen to lead an official investigation. The Cullen inquiry is granted legal authority to collect evidence and testimonies, ensuring a thorough examination of the disaster. Maintenance records and shift logs are scrutinised, revealing critical miscommunications between crews. Over 100 witnesses, including survivors and industry experts, provide testimony. Engineering experts traced the explosion back to the faulty restart of the gas condensate pump, confirming that a lack of procedural clarity contributed to the catastrophe. Also, how the blanking flange meant to cut off supply to the pipeline was not installed correctly, leading to a leak. One of the first initial factors is found to be how the permit to work was not filed correctly in order for the next shift to readily brief themselves of their upcoming work, essentially boiling it down to a single piece of paper setting in motion a deadly chain of events, a very real example of the butterfly effect in action. The inquiry uncovers several key findings, citing poor safety protocols and an inadequate shift handover system for playing a direct role in the disaster. The fire suppression system, which had been deactivated for maintenance, failed to control the blaze, allowing it to spread unchecked. Compounding the issue, oil and gas continued flowing from connected platforms, further fueling the inferno. Investigators also find that many of the workers lacked proper emergency training and knowledge of escape routes, leading to confusion. By November 1990, the Cullen Report is released, a comprehensive document outlining the failures that led to the tragedy. The report proposes over 100 recommendations aimed at improving safety in the offshore oil industry. These recommendations emphasise clearer communication procedures, stricter maintenance oversight, and the establishment of independent safety regulators. Between 1990 and 1992, major industry reforms take place in response to the report's findings. The UK government introduces new offshore safety regulations, ensuring rigs adhere to stricter safety standards. Independent safety authorities are established to oversee operations and prevent similar disasters happening. Additionally, offshore workers receive improved emergency training, and rigs are mandated to maintain fully operational fire suppression systems at all times. The total insured loss of the disaster totals £1.7 billion, over £6 billion in today's money, making it one of the costliest man-made catastrophes ever. The event had a considerable impact on North Sea oil and gas production. Today, offshore workers are trained extensively in emergency response, ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again. The memory of Piper Alpha lives on, serving as a solemn reminder of the cost of safety failures. In 1992, Piper Bravo is installed to replace Alpha and commenced production in February 1993. A wreck buoy marking Alpha's remains was installed 120 metres away from Bravo. A memorial is constructed in Hazelhead Park in Aberdeen. It features 3 stone statues depicting oil workers facing north, west and east. If you enjoyed this mini YouTube documentary and would like to see more like it, make sure to give the video a thumbs up rating for the time and effort it took me to make, and subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss future episodes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.